A couple of weeks ago, the opposition in Uganda's parliament walked out of a parliamentary sitting. The move, which was led by the leader of opposition in parliament, Honorable Mao, was in hopes that parliament would address questions and concerns raised by the opposition in parliament. Among these concerns is the forced abduction and withholding of 18 opposition supporters and citizens, continued torture and beating of journalists, among so many others. This was received by mixed reactions from the House and the electorates at large. Welcome to this episode of the Hard Question Show with me, Rahim Nwali. Together with my guest, today we will be taking a deep dive into the boycott, but also on the Democratic Party's preparations as we gear up to the 2026 general elections. Mr. Norbert Mao insisted that he still serves as party president. And how is this being received within the party? My guest today is a member of parliament, but also a member of Uganda's oldest political party, Honorable Lulume Bayiga. He is the member of parliament for Buikwe South constituency, and we are so glad to have him on the show. Hello and welcome to the show. Honorable, thank you so much for having us in your office today and for speaking to us at large.
It's my pleasure.
Yes. I wanted us to start from the boycott. The opposition members of parliament boycotted parliamentary sitting in demand that government speaks out on the people that have been arrested over the years, but also address human rights issues that they have been unfolding over the years, as we have seen. What did you envision before planning the boycott?
No, we thought that we have a responsible government that responds to the demands of the population. At least that is what they depict themselves as. And we have a long-standing demand, and we didn't want to do business as usual. The demands that have been articulated by the leader of opposition over time have been well received and somehow answered in passing by the authorities, including the Prime Minister, sometimes the Minister for Internal Affairs. But those demands have not been coming to fruition. So he said, no, wait a minute. Have our demand been answered in the affirmative? What do we see? What would people count us to be? As barking dogs? No. This government must answer. Lives matter. Many young people were picked from their homes, and even old people who have families. Some of them have disappeared and they have never been seen again. Some of them are being seen paraded before military court. Some of them have never seen court at all. We have also fishing communities. I represent a fishing community where UPDF soldiers have gone and molested wives, children, and have even picked items from people's houses. Some people have lost their lives. Others have been picked and then incarcerated in Kitalia, paraded in a court here in Kampala. So we are saying these violations of human rights are part of what we advocate should end. And that is why we say, no, something must happen. We demanded for a statement by government. Government was not ready to give a statement, but said, even the statement, it would be business as usual. We want to see the people out of that incarceration. Those who have never been seen again could have been killed. We want them to produce these dead bodies from where they killed them from. We want to see them so that we give them a decent burial. We want to know, we don't want to live in anticipation. They have parents, they have wives, they have children. And those people need help. They are living in anticipation. Some of them are being intimidated. Some other people have been arraigned before the court martial. We are not even soldiers. We are saying this one must change. If at all they have a case to answer, they must go to a civil court. Those who have never been produced in court should be set free. Actually, those who are in the military courts, in a court martial, should be arraigned before the court of law, and then they should be freed. I mean, you can't be in prison for all that time, close to 3 years. You have never been charged, and then you expect again to be arraigned before court, and then you are told you are charged again. No, you have served, if at all there is anything they demand. Then we shall go into another course of events.
How is it unfolding?
So for us, these are simple things. Produce those who have been killed. We want the dead bodies. We shall do DNA test and prove that these are the relatives of the deceased. Then we give them decent burial. Those who have been incarcerated and they have never been arraigned before any courts of law, they should be freed. Simple. So these are very actionable. These are actionable responses. And then you'll see us going back to Parliament.
With or without response from...
No, we don't. The response should be actionable.
What if it doesn't happen?
Once we see that the dead body is being produced for those who were killed by this government or agents of government, we want them, then we shall go for burial. We will see us back. Those who are incarcerated without being charged, let them be produced before a court of law and then freed. That is a very good action. We will see back.
Okay. Honorable, clearly, the only thing that you want is you want to see these people, dead or alive, or even produced in court.
Yes.
And that is the only condition under which you will go back to Parliament. What if this doesn't happen? What happens?
Government must admit.
What if they don't?
We shall make inference. We shall put it to them that they killed all these people. We shall arrange maybe funeral rites ceremonies. I don't know what the leader of opposition would say about it. But this, for me, this is a proposal I will do. If at all you keep quiet, then you have admitted having killed all of them. You have been denying that state doesn't kill unlawfully. But state-inspired killing has been going on and want them to prove themselves, to prove us wrong. But we want those people, the relatives of those people, to know whether their people are dead or alive.
Honorable, the Speaker of Parliament came out to say that she's giving out about 15 sittings, under which, if they are done and you're not back in Parliament, she could call out for a suspension and indefinite suspension for you from Parliament. How did you receive this, and what are you doing in terms of getting ready for her words, clearly?
No, I don't think that is even called for. I don't think that is called for. Because 15 sittings in a row would call for somebody's abdication of duty, and then you can rescind your seat. No doubt about that. But we are outside Parliament on record. We are on record. The leader of opposition said, we cannot, if at all we don't see these demands met, we shall be out, and we are going out, and we went out. And it is unanswered. Both televised actions and written, transcribed answers are there for you to see. The opposition is on record for being outside Parliament for a reason well understood by all authorities, including the international community. So it is on record. But they say 15 sittings in a row without reason, without notice to the office of the Speaker, you are out.
I am sure even before she said it, she knew that clearly this was your stand. You came out to speak about, we have a reason why we are boycotting.
Yes.
But nevertheless, she said the 15 sittings is what is on table. So I want to assume that the stand of the Speaker and the government is, let's wait for the 15. There is nothing they're producing.
No. It is 15 days in a row without notification. notification was done in a broad daylight in Parliament that we are out for such and such reasons. We shall be in once government answers. And that is the role of Parliament. It's not a role. It's not a role of opposition. It's a role of Parliament to ensure that the Ugandans who trusted us with power, the power to advocate for their rights, to represent them in government, that power must be well used. We must make use of that power in accordance with the aspiration of the people who entrusted us with that power. Not the opposition alone. So this is not an opposition matter. This is a Ugandan opposition, and Parliament, led by the opposition on this matter, must let government to answer the demands of the people of Uganda. If it is not for that, yesterday we were in Parliament. So haven't we broken the 15 days in a row? So you can begin to count again. Then we shall go into a recess. It's cumbersome. It becomes cumbersome.
But when you say that, maybe you're even betraying your own self because you went back to sit even when you said you don't go back.
Yeah, we sit and strategize. There are certain causes that bring us together. The leader of government business moved the motion, and the leader of opposition supported that motion to pay tribute to the late Joyce Mpanga. Yeah. Yes. Those are things which are uniting us. Social events of aggrievement, of bereavement, but in respect of those who are still alive and know that it is only Parliament that can help to keep government in check on human rights abuses. They support us, what we are doing. It's not business as usual. And government knows. Government is being exposed, and they are scandalizing themselves. The more we want to know where those people are.
Okay. We are gearing up to 2026 elections. I would love to know how within the DP, within the Democratic Party, how you're getting ready for the elections. Yes.
DP was scandalized by its president joining the ruling junta. And he left the party at crossroads. And he made it worse when he claimed that he's still a president of an opposition party.
Which he still is.
That opposes the government that he's serving. He's not.
By all rights, he is.
He's not. He is you see, once you are from Ndiga clan, hypothetically, and then your mother says, no, your father is from Mamba clan, you cease being of Ndiga clan. But you can continue calling yourself so, if you want. But you would cease.
But the mother is an authority in this case.
Yes, the mother has told you that you belong to another clan. Yeah. So you cannot claim this one. So you change. Even the names, the nomenclature changes, including the names of those children who you have put to earth. So you change their...
I love the analogy, but in this case, so who is the mother? The Ndiga clan. Because, rightly said, the mother is an authority. She's telling you, okay, I gave birth to you, and this is what I'm saying. In this case, by law, Norbert Mao is still president of the Democratic Party.
By law? Which law?
I mean, he's the president, isn't he?
You by the Constitution of Uganda, once you cross from one party to another, you cease your membership in this party where you have left. Mao left the Democratic Party long ago, actually 1.5 years ago. He took an oath to defend the NRM and the president who we are opposed to. He took an oath of minister, and the oath of minister prescribes that he is bound by collective responsibility of cabinet. So cabinet may decide that all parties are going to be banned. And he's bound by that professional, that vow. He vowed. Collective responsibility binds him. So you cannot have you can't eat your cake and have it. So he crossed. But he can continue calling himself the president. But effectively, he's not. And he knows it. What is he transacting? Is he transacting any business at the party headquarters? Here he can come and talk things simply because he wants to assume. But he belongs to another clan, suffice it to say. But even without that, you people are in the media. We call you here and we even I will give you here the judgment of Justice Philip Odochi. It has never been overturned. Mao and his executive were elected in Gulu, in what they called a delegates conference. But when the court saw the process and outcome, they quashed them. The executive with which Mao was elected disappeared like Titanic in Bermuda Triangle. It's not there. So don't ask me about the National Executive Committee of Mao. We have the National Council. The National Council, once it sits with a prayer in the courts of law, we shall have an interim National Executive Committee, which will announce the new leaders of the party, so that you don't have any kind of confusion from somebody who crossed to the NRM and is serving it and is holding out to be a party president of an opposition party to a government he's serving.
Well, he clearly
he would be naive to believe that.
He said that it is one way of perhaps reaching and combining these, well, not combining,
How?
but working together
No.
to effectively.
We have been telling you over the last 1.5 years that that is not the way the party works. The party works through its organs. And the organs take decisions. Take those decisions through the elected leaders. The elected leaders, once they do it on their own, the party disowns them. That is what we exactly did. But even that notwithstanding, the process and outcome of the Gulu conference, which brought them into that leadership, were quashed. They were illegal, contravened the party's constitution, and they disappeared. Don't ask me about where they are. So we are here caretaking how the party moves in through process as the parliamentary group, which is one of the organs of the party.
So that is the status quo.
That is it. So for the time being, that is what we are doing. And once the prayers are answered, we shall have an interim National Executive Committee, and then we shall start the process of organizing a National Delegates Conference. But we are not just sitting. Members of the National Council are reorganizing their party branches down, because there are certain branches which were brought onto the surface simply for the process of bringing Mao as president. They would sit down in their rooms and write, maybe we bring so and so, without a party structure. So we are putting our structures down to the bottom. And then back up, we shall have the fully fledged National Council, which we will have to organize the National Delegates Conference, and we shall have it. DP is a mass party, and we shall be there. We cannot lose gas.
So does this also, I mean, I know that there is a division. There are people who still think that President Mao is still the chairman. And
how many?
I will give you Siranda.
When Mao, Siranda is a sole individual, is a member, is Mheshimiwa Mbunge wa East African Legislative Assembly. He can't be alone. You see, they had duped many members of the party, including district chairpersons, including even members of parliament were duped that they were going to give them jobs. Mao, since he went into NRM government, jobs are coming. So people were blindly following him. For those who were not really convinced that a change of government is necessary, other than simply obtaining jobs, they are there. They are there. So we would allow them to follow Mr. Norbert Mao sheepishly. But once they reach there and there are no jobs, they feel they should either go to NRM or come back to the opposition party where they are known. Where they are known. So we sympathize with them, but our arms are open. and we are welcoming them back. They goofed. They goofed seriously. So we are welcoming them back so that we can carry on our party work.
Would you say that the Democratic Party is not, of course, as strong as it used to be? You lost so many members to the National Unity Platform. But where does this leave the party at large?
Yeah, the party. You see, the party, as it was built on very strong values and has very, very strong aspirations for the country. We have a history. We are the people who can be trusted with power. Notwithstanding the fact that various actors have veered off at a tangent. Yes, we accept and we are humble enough to accept that we have had those kind of fellows who have veered off. But that does not remove the fact that this party is a mass party. It is in the hearts of everyone. Its values are very well spoken, even by those who do not belong with us. When you talk about truth, honesty, transparency, and accountability, you're talking about the Democratic Party, even unknowingly, unwittingly, you are talking about the Democratic Party. If at all you are talking about justice, talking about social justice, you're talking about the rule of law, we are talking about equality before the law, you're talking about DP, wittingly or unwittingly. When you're talking about equal opportunity for socio-economic advancement, you're talking about the Democratic Party. When you're talking about fighting and observance of fundamental human rights in general, you're talking about the Democratic Party. And the people of Uganda know the party that is fighting for those values which they cherish. When you're talking about preservation and conservation of our cultural values, conservation of our environment, you're talking about the Democratic Party, because this is what we have been fighting for decades long. So you're talking about the Democratic Party. And it has gone deep down. Those people who wished it away, they are now seeing young Democrats sprouting and taking over universities in leadership. You have seen that the UYD alumni is back again. We were here in Hotel Africana. In a few days, we have mobilized over 600 leaders from across the country, and they came and they said, yes, we are back again. We are going to move a caravan once again in the last bend of the event. So do not think, DP is a party you can never wish away. You can continue to keep your knee on its neck. Remove it, and you see the party back again. It's the party of hope. We don't care how many we are now. It's not for a season, but a reason. That's who we are.
And the strategy to regain the popularity that you once had, is it something that you deeply having conversations around?
Yes. All the time we need to rebrand. All the time we need to keep the people, listening to the people, and seeing how we can rebrand ourselves so that we win the trust. Previously, people had lost trust in the Democratic Party simply because Mao had crossed it to NRM. So when Mao is being called president, he also pretends to be president. Maybe it helps him. But sooner or later, you will discover he's picking an NRM ticket to run for Gulu East as a member of parliament. Then you will continue to tell us that you are party president who picked the NRM card. You'll have been too slow.
Here's what I think, Dr. Lulume. The media doesn't create narratives, and it doesn't certainly drive narratives. It just reports on facts. So what is the fact here? The fact is that the minister for constitutional affairs is the party president for DP. Not to say that we are calling him the party president. What we're saying is, even when he's constitutional, nothing has been changed from within the party. There has not been an election of the party president within the party. And clearly want to denounce and say, okay, I am now leaving it to Dr. Lulume and the party to handle the personal and party matters. Wouldn't you say that is true?
No, you see, the fact that you cannot be keen on the findings that someone, once they cross the they relinquish, I mean, they automatically they lose even membership. For me, that is where my pain is. Because these are very clear things. Constitution is very clear what oath you take and how serious an oath is. You know, he's in the media as a Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, embattled for being party president on something that is obvious. It is killing him. It is in his neck. You know, he's a man of speeches. Goes there, speaks. They ask him, "Are you still party president?" No, but you are serving the. You know, and the fellow, he's held between a rock and a hard place. He doesn't know how to handle it. Help him. Help him get out of it. He's scandalized. All over, wherever he goes as a minister, they are still asking him, how can you cling on to a party which you left? Ask him from the Constitution. Do you think he serves you right? Then he can say, what do you think I can do? I can relinquish. And he saves us all these quarrels, and he saves himself too.
Dr. Lulume, thank you for speaking to us.
It's my pleasure.
We've been speaking to Dr. Lulume, the legislature for Boyikwe South constituency, on matters boycotting, but also within the DP as they gear up to the 2026 general elections. My name is Rahim Nwali, and this is The Hard Questions.